The Wilderness name returns to the Forester lineup for 2026, injecting Subaru's long-running compact SUV with an extra dose of go-anywhere adventurism. The 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness will square up against a growing crowd of off-road-oriented rivals. Although the Forester is arguably the most serious of the bunch, some, such as the Hyundai Tucson XRT, are mostly an appearance package, adding extra plastic cladding and outdoorsy features such as a roof rack and trailer hitch. But the Wilderness will have legit competition in the form of the Ford Bronco Sport Badlands and the Jeep Compass Trailhawk. Honda will also join the fray with the refreshed 2026 CR-V, which will add a trail sport variant when it's unveiled later this year. The Nissan Rogue recently added a Rock Creek model, gaining Falcon all-terrain tires and hill descent control. Toyota, meanwhile, dropped the RAV4 TRD off-road trim from the lineup for 2025. But we expect at least one TRD-badged model to return when the RAV4 is overhauled for 2026. Compared with its Ford and Jeep rivals, the Forester's 2.5-liter flat 4 is the weakest engine of the group, spitting out a mere 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. The naturally aspirated mill is hooked up to a continuously variable automatic transmission, CVT, directing power to all four wheels. Subaru will not pair the newly announced hybrid powertrain with the Wilderness setup. The Subi's standard all-wheel drive system has been optimized for quicker center differential lockup, and the transmission cooler has been beefed up to allow the Wilderness to tow up to 3,500 pounds. The Bronco Sport Badlands outdoes the Subi with a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder producing 238 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Even the turbocharged three-cylinder in other Bronco Sport trims beats the Forester, matching the horsepower output but eking out an extra 22 pound-feet. All Bronco Sports use an 8-speed automatic, but the Badlands adds an oil cooler and paddle shifters for the manual shifting mode. The Badlands' towing capacity is 2,700 pounds. Even the Jeep outpunches the Forester with its turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4. Good for 200 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. The Compass also employs an 8-speed automatic to send its power to all four wheels. When it comes to towing, however, the Compass lags far behind with a 2,000-pound rating, while the powertrain in the Wilderness is shared with lesser non-hybrid Foresters. Subaru made meaningful changes under the skin. The Wilderness features 9.3 inches of ground clearance, about a half-inch more than other Foresters, thanks to longer coil springs and dampers. This contributes to a 23.5-degree approach angle, up from 19.0 degrees, and a 25.5-degree departure angle, up from 24.6 degrees. The 21-degree breakover angle is an improvement on the regular Forester's 19.6 degrees. The Forester Wilderness features a fully independent suspension. It also rides on Meteor Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires mounted on 17-inch tires. The X-Mode function gains extra settings for snow, dirt or deep snow, mud. And the CVT features a shorter final drive ratio for low-speed off-road driving. The Bronco Sport Badlands is even more capable off-road thanks to the new for 2025 Sasquatch package. Along with the regular Badlands standard twin-clutch rear differential, the Sasquatch adds chunkier all-terrain tires, steel bumpers with sturdy tow hooks, and upgraded rear dampers. Like the Forester, the Badlands features a fully independent suspension. The baby Bronco also features a 360-degree camera with a view that shows the front tires. There are also two extra off-road modes, Rally and Rock Crawl, and the Sasquatch package swaps the Badlands standard Continental all-terrain tires for Goodyear Territory all-terrain rubber. Ground clearance is higher than other Bronco Sports at 8.1 inches, 8.7 inches with the Sasquatch package. The approach and departure angles are especially strong at 31.2 and 27.9 degrees, respectively, when fitted with the Sasquatch setup, which also brings a front brush guard and steel skid plates. The Compass Trailhawk doesn't pack nearly as many upgrades. The all-wheel drive system gets active drive low for better low-speed off-road capability, while the 8-speed automatic in the Trailhawk gets a lower final drive ratio. Trailhawk models also add a rock drive setting and skid plates. And it rides on Falcon Wildpeak all-terrain tires. But there are minimal suspension upgrades for the Trailhawk, which uses the same basic setup as lesser compasses. Ground clearance does improve by a ½ inch to 8.6 inches. And the approach angle of 30.4 degrees and departure angle of 34 degrees are impressive. The Jeep's breakover angle of 23.6 degrees is the best of the group. Inside, the Forester Wilderness is decked out in water-resistant StartX upholstery and features an 11.6-inch touchscreen in the center of the dashboard. An available 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster features both navigation and Apple Maps integration and wilderness-exclusive graphics. Subaru claims 37.7 inches of headroom, 43.3 inches of legroom, 54.7 inches of hip room, and 57.7 inches of shoulder room for the front passengers. Those figures contract slightly for rear passengers. With the rear seats upright, the Subi has 28 cubic feet of cargo room, which expands to 69 cubic feet with the second row stowed. The Bronco Sport Badlands cabin is also easier to clean thanks to a rubberized floor. As with the Subaru, the Bronco Sport has a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster but one-ups the Forester with a 13.2-inch center screen. The boxy Ford claims to have nearly 4 inches of extra headroom and almost a ½ inch more hip room in the front row. But it has about an inch less legroom than the Forester. Its cargo room is listed at 29 cubic feet, or 61 cubes with the second row stowed. The Jeep Compass not only has the smallest screens, a 10.1-inch center touchscreen and a 10.3-inch digital gauge cluster, but also among the most compact interior dimensions. Without the sunroof, the front passengers have 39.2 inches of headroom, 41.2 inches of legroom, 54.1 inches of hip room, and 56.7 inches of shoulder room. With the rear seats up, Jeep claims 27 cubic feet of cargo space and 60 cubes with the second row folded. The 2026 Forester Wilderness is set to reach dealerships in the fall of this year. Pricing has yet to be announced. The 2025 Bronco Sport Badlands has been on sale since last fall. But the Sasquatch package becomes available during the first quarter of this year, joining the already on sale Jeep Compass Trailhawk.